A manager with zero experience, 3 losses in their last 65 matches, and 4 trophies. For 2 decades, Argentina was the story of missing opportunities. But under Lionel Scaloni, everything changed. What exactly did Scaloni do? And why is Argentina becoming the most feared team on earth? Before any of this, there was just pain. A national obsession dressed up as a football team, dragging itself through tournament after tournament, always close, never enough. To understand why this Argentina side terrifies the world, you have to start in the place nobody wants to remember. The Maracanã, July 2014, Messi, standing at the edge of the area in extra time alone, with the World Cup trophy sitting on a plinth a few feet away. Germany had just scored. The cameras found him afterwards, walking past the trophy without looking at it. That image travelled around the world, the greatest player on earth, ignoring the only thing he had left to win. Then 2015 Copa America final, Chile, penalties, Argentina lose. Then 2016 Copa America final, Chile, again, penalties, again, Argentina lose, again. And then, the moment that broke the country, Messi on the pitch in New Jersey, walking towards the cameras and announcing he was done with the national team. The best footballer alive, retiring from international football at 29. He could not carry the pain anymore. People in Argentina cried in the streets. Murals went up overnight, begging him to come back. Diego Maradona, of all people, told him to keep going. If anyone can do it, then it's Messi. Maradona said if Messi is on his game, there is a great chance of lifting the World Cup in the future. Messi came back. Russia 2018 happened. France happened. Mbappe happened. Argentina got eliminated in the round of 16 by a teenager in tracksuit boots who outran their entire defence. And that, somehow, was rock bottom. The end of the road. The end of a generation. Argentine football was an entire country grieving in real time, and nobody could find a manager brave enough or stupid enough to take the job. Enter Lionel Sebastian Scaloni, 40 years old, last seen as Jorge Sampaoli's assistant. A career as a player, most charitably described as journeyman, 0 senior club management experience, 0 major trophies, 0 qualifications on paper for the job he was about to be given. The Argentine Football Federation appointed him on an interim basis because, frankly, nobody else wanted it. He was supposed to be a placeholder, a warm body in the dugout while the adults figured out who would actually run the team. Spoiler, they never figured it out, because Scaloni was the answer. September 2018, Los Angeles. A friendly against Guatemala that nobody watched, in a half-empty stadium on a Friday night. Argentina won 3-0. Messi was not in the squad. Half the players were kids most fans could not pick out of a lineup. This was the beginning, although nobody knew it yet. Scaloni did something almost no Argentine manager had been brave enough to do. He stopped chasing the past. He stopped trying to build the team around aging legends who had earned the right to be there but no longer had the legs for it. He stopped picking based on club reputation. He started picking based on what he needed. Out went the bloated egos. Out went the players who treated the national team like a paid vacation. In came hungry kids who would run through walls. Cristiano Romero from Genoa, Rodrigo de Paul from Udinese, a goalkeeper called Emiliano Martinez, who had spent his entire career on loan. And here is the part that everyone underestimated. Scaloni did not just change the squad, he changed the culture. The federation gave him almost no budget, so he turned that into an advantage. He built a small, loyal coaching staff. He brought back the idea of training camps where players actually lived together. He kept the same group for friendlies. He let them develop chemistry. He made the national team feel less like a passport stamp and more like a club. The results came slowly, then all at once. July 2019. Brazil knocked Argentina out of the Copa America in the semi-final. Messi was furious, called CONMEBOL corrupt on live television, and got himself banned for 3 months. It looked for a moment like the old story was about to repeat itself. It would be the last time Argentina lost a competitive match for 3.5 years. July 10th, 2021, the Maracanã, the same stadium where the 2014 ghost still lived. Argentina versus Brazil in the Copa America final. This was the moment. 28 years without a major trophy. The country had a generation of football fans who had never seen Argentina win anything. Children who were not alive the last time their senior team lifted a Copa America. Brazil were favourites. They were playing at home. They had Neymar in his prime, weeping on the pitch the way the cameras like. Angel Di Maria, a player who had been written off so many times he had calluses from the rejection, lifted a chip over the goalkeeper from an impossible angle. 1-0. Argentina held on. Messi got to lift his first senior international trophy with the national team. The pictures from that night went around the world about 10 times. Messi being thrown in the air by his teammates. Messi crying into Sergio Aguero's shoulder. Messi sitting on the pitch in the empty stadium, talking on the phone to his family, just trying to process it. 28 years of silence, broken in 90 minutes. Then came June 2022, Wembley, the finalissima, Argentina against the European champions, Italy. The Italians had Roberto Mancini, a tactical genius, and the swagger of having just beaten England at their own Euros. Argentina destroyed them, 3-0. It was not even close. Lautaro Martinez, Di Maria again, Dybala. Messi pulling the strings with the look of a man who had finally remembered what football is supposed to feel like. That night, Argentina set a new national record. 32 matches unbeaten in official games. They were 5 short of the all-time international record held by Italy. The same Italy they had just put 3 goals past without breaking a sweat. The streak had become a monster, and the World Cup was 5 months away. November 22nd, 2022, Lusail Stadium, Qatar. Argentina's opening match of the World Cup against Saudi Arabia. Argentina were 36 matches unbeaten, the longest run in their history. Saudi Arabia were the second lowest ranked team in the tournament. Argentina scored after 10 minutes, Messi from the penalty spot. The streak was about to become 37. The script was already written. Somebody forgot to tell Saudi Arabia. The Saudis came out for the second half playing an offside trap so aggressive it should have been illegal. Argentina had 3 goals disallowed before half-time. Then, in the space of 5 minutes, Saleh Al-Shehri equalised, and Salim Al-Dawsari curled in one of the goals of the tournament. Final score: Saudi Arabia 2, Argentina 1. The streak was over. The dream looked over with it. This is where most teams would have collapsed. This is where the old Argentina, the one that lost 3 finals in a row, would have crumbled into pieces in the desert and gone home in disgrace. Scaloni did not panic. He did not give a fiery press conference. He did not blame the referees or the grass or the heat. He stood at the podium, looked the cameras in the eye and said one thing: "We will keep going." And then they did. 6 matches in a row, Mexico beaten, Poland beaten, Australia beaten, the Netherlands in maybe the most chaotic quarter-final ever played, beaten on penalties, Croatia dismantled in the semi-final, which brings us to the final, Lusail again, Argentina versus France, the reigning world champions, with Mbappe arriving at maybe the most dangerous form a 23-year-old has ever shown at a World Cup. 2-0 Argentina at half-time. The trophy was on the table, then Mbappe scored twice in 97 seconds, France equalised, the world reorganised itself around the idea that Argentina were about to lose another final in a way that would erase everything they had built. Messi scored in extra time. Emiliano Martinez, the goalkeeper Scaloni had picked when nobody else wanted him, became a national hero by saving from Kingsley Coman's post. And on the third penalty, Gonzalo Montiel, a substitute right-back who nobody had ever heard of outside Argentina, stepped up. 8 years after he walked past the cup in 2014, Lionel Messi lifted the World Cup. Here is the thing about winning a World Cup. Most teams that do it fall apart afterwards. The hunger goes, the veterans retire, the new manager arrives, the cycle resets. Argentina did the opposite. They got hungrier. The summer of 2024, Copa America in the United States. Argentina were the reigning world champions, the reigning continental champions, the reigning everything. They had nothing left to prove. They proved it anyway. They won every single match in the group. They beat Ecuador in the quarter-final. They beat Canada in the semi-final. And in the final, in Miami against Colombia, in a match so chaotic the kickoff was delayed because fans broke through security, they won 1-0 in extra time. Lautaro Martinez, off the bench, deciding it. Back-to-back Copa Americas, the first nation to win it back-to-back since 1993. And while they were doing that, something else was happening. Quietly, in the background, a new generation was arriving. The kind of new generation most national teams pray for once a century and never get. Julian Alvarez left Manchester City for Atletico Madrid and started scoring against Real Madrid, Barcelona, Inter Milan, all of them. The cross-eyed kid from Cauchin became one of the most complete strikers in Europe. Enzo Fernandez, one of the best central midfielders in the Premier League. The guy who tortured Brazil and Croatia in Qatar arrived at his absolute peak. Alexis Mac Allister became a starter at Liverpool. Cristian Romero won the Europa League with Tottenham. Lisandro Martinez, when healthy, was the only defender on earth Erling Haaland could not score against. And then there were the new kids, the ones nobody saw coming. Nico Paz, the Real Madrid Academy graduate Como bought for nothing, tearing apart Inter and Juventus and Lazio in Serie A. Giuliano Simeone, Diego Simeone's son, scoring against Brazil and Barcelona and looking nothing like the nepotism story everyone expected him to be. Franco Mastantuono, who became Scaloni's youngest debutant at 17, sold to Real Madrid before he was old enough to legally drink. The bench Argentina took to Qatar in 2022 was thin. The bench Argentina will take to the 2026 World Cup looks like it could win the tournament without the starters. And keeping the whole thing breathing somehow still against all logic was the 38-year-old guy from Rosario. Messi at Inter Miami should, by every actuarial table in football, be in his decline phase. He's not. He's still pulling out 13 goal contributions in 13 matches in Major League Soccer. He's still hitting free kicks the way he did in Barcelona. He's chasing 1,000 career goals like it's a hobby. And every time he pulls on the Argentina shirt, he plays like he's 26 again. That part should be impossible. It's also the only thing that fully explains why every other manager at this World Cup is watching footage of him in 2026 trying to find a weakness that nobody has found in 20 years. South American World Cup qualifying is statistically the hardest qualification campaign on earth. 18 matches, home and away, with every nation playing every other nation at altitudes that make European players see colours. Argentina did not just qualify. They walked through it like the other teams were cones. They beat Brazil 1-0 at the Maracanã in November 2023, in a match so feisty the police charged into the stands before kickoff and the players nearly walked off in protest. Argentine fans in the away section, surrounded by chaos, watched their team beat Brazil at home for the first time in a World Cup qualifier in 14 years. Then, in March 2025 in Buenos Aires, they did it again. This time it was 4-1, 4-1 against Brazil. The kind of scoreline that does not happen between South American giants. With that result, Scaloni became the first Argentine manager in history to beat Brazil both home and away in World Cup qualifying. A statistic so absurd that when fans saw it for the first time, most of them assumed it was a typo. By the end of qualifying, Argentina had finished top of the South American table by a country mile. They lost exactly one match, the last one against Ecuador, when most of the squad was already on holiday. They had a goal difference of +22. They were 28 points clear of where they would have needed to be to qualify. Scaloni had now done something no Argentine manager had ever done before. qualified the team for 2 consecutive World Cups through CONMEBOL. The thing previous coaches had treated as the survival objective, he was treating as a warm-up. And then, almost as a joke, he started giving debuts to teenagers. Mastantuono at 17, Joaquin Panicelli, Gianluca Prestiani, Kevin McAllister, world champions handing out caps to kids who were in primary school the last time Argentina lost a major final. Scaloni's full record under his belt, as of late 2025, looks like a video game cheat. 90 matches, 67 wins, 14 draws, 9 defeats, a win percentage of over 74%, 4 major trophies, against Brazil in that 2019 semi-final, and against Saudi Arabia in the group stage. That's it. That's the resume. So why is the rest of the football world genuinely worried? Why are tactical analysts in Paris, Madrid, London and Munich re-watching Argentina footage at 2 in the morning? 3 reasons. None of them are about Messi. Reason 1. Argentina do not play like a national team. They play like a club. The chemistry between Romero and Otamendi at the back. The way De Paul knows exactly where Messi wants the ball before Messi knows. The understanding between McAllister and Enzo in midfield. These are not the kind of automatisms a manager can build in 2-week international windows. These are the result of 7 years of patient construction. Other national teams arrive at major tournaments hoping to find a rhythm. Argentina arrive already at full speed. Reason 2. They have solved the problem that broke every previous Messi-era Argentina team. The transition. When the 2014 team got old, the new generation could not replace them. When the 2018 team got old, they got humiliated by France. Every cycle ended in collapse. This cycle, the new generation arrived early. Julian Alvarez was scoring in a World Cup final at 22. Enzo Fernandez was running the midfield at 21. Alexis McAllister was already a Premier League starter. The transition did not just happen smoothly, it happened with players who already had medals. The youngsters did not have to learn how to win, they learned by winning. Reason 3. And this is the one that should terrify everyone. Scaloni is still in charge. The man who designed this machine, who picked these players, who built this culture, is not going anywhere. He has signed a new contract. He is taking the team to the 2026 World Cup. And he has done what almost no manager in international football has ever done. He has made winning feel routine. Compare this to the chaos around Argentina's rivals. Brazil have been through 3 managers in 2 years and were just beaten 4-1 at home. France just lost their dressing room dynamic and looked like a team of solo artists who never agreed on the chorus. Germany are rebuilding for the 4th time in a decade. Spain are brilliant but unproven at knockout football. England are, well, England. Argentina, by contrast, look like a team that knows exactly who they are, exactly how they play, and exactly what they want. And there's a 4th reason, the kind that doesn't show up in stats. Mentality. Argentina under Scaloni have made a habit of winning the matches you cannot win on paper. They won the World Cup after losing their opening match to Saudi Arabia, something no team had ever done before. They won 2 major finals on penalties. They went to the Maracana, the place where their hearts had been broken for decades, and beat Brazil there. That kind of muscle memory is not something a draw can erase. It's not something the heat can erase. It travels with the squad, on every plane, into every dressing room, into every quiet moment before a knockout match. They have done this before. They know how to do it again. So, the 2026 World Cup, North America, the United States, Mexico and Canada, 48 teams, the biggest World Cup in history. Argentina arrive as defending champions. They arrive with the best squad they have had since 1986. They arrive with the man who has won everything still in the dugout, and the greatest player of all time still in the squad. If they win it, they will become the first nation in the modern era to win consecutive World Cups. The last team to do it was Brazil in 1958 and 1962. Brazil did it with Pelé. Argentina would be doing it with a 39-year-old Messi, hitting one final summit before retirement. The narrative is so perfect it sounds invented. And if Messi cannot do it, the kids will. That's the part that makes this team different from every other Messi-era Argentina side. Even if the captain has a quiet tournament, even if a striker gets injured, even if the draw is brutal, there is no obvious weak point. They have multiple players for every position. They have a manager who has solved every tactical problem the international game has thrown at him. They have a goalkeeper who has, 2 separate times now, decided major finals on penalties. Could they lose? Of course they could. Football eventually gets everyone. The Saudi Arabia game in 2022 was a reminder that the universe likes its little jokes. Mbappe will be there with revenge on his mind. Brazil, embarrassed and rebuilt, will be dangerous. Spain are technically gifted enough to dismantle anyone. And the heat in the American summer is going to be punishing in a way World Cups have rarely been. But here is the thing. The story since 2018 has been about how Argentina respond to setbacks. They lost to Brazil in 2019, then went 36 matches unbeaten. They lost to Saudi Arabia in 2022, then won the World Cup 6 games later. They lost to Mbappe in the final, and won on penalties anyway. This team does not panic, this team does not fall apart. This team has been built brick by a manager who got the job because nobody else wanted it and turned it into the most dominant project in modern international football.